Hello, my name is Victor, and in today's video, I want to talk about some exciting news when it comes to the AI front. In particular, we're going to discuss two stocks in this video. The first stock had some incredibly exciting news, and the stock is up a bunch today, whereas the second one is one that I personally own and that I've been buying here pretty much non-stop for the last month or so. And be sure to stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to give my opinion on which stock I think is the better buy here for the end of 2025. Let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. The first stock that I want to talk about is Nvidia, which is up almost 4% today, a massive jump for the stock, which is now about $4.5 trillion when it comes to market cap. The first stock in the history of the world, might I add, to be above $4 trillion. Absolutely massive and just continues to grow. But why exactly is Nvidia up so much today? Well, they had some incredibly exciting news. And that is that Nvidia plans to invest $100 billion in OpenAI. When I did some research, it looks like Nvidia plans to invest that money into OpenAI, and it plans to build hundreds of billions of dollars in data centers based around the chip maker's AI processors. This is going to require 10 gigawatts of power, and a gigawatt is essentially a measure of power that is increasingly being used to describe the biggest clusters of AI chips. So incredibly exciting for anybody who owns Nvidia stock, but I want to give my 3 key takeaways from this announcement. Coming in at number 1, and that is going to be just how enormous of scale this is when it comes to AI infrastructure. I had mentioned the unit of scale here that was mentioned, gigawatts, and I want to provide some clarity on that because how much exactly is that when it comes to GPUs? Well, in the article, it continues on saying that 10 gigawatts is about 4 to 5 million GPUs. Absolutely insane. And Jensen, Nvidia CEO, said that they're basically going to be using twice as many chips as they were during this time last year. Again, no surprise why the stock is absolutely blasting off after he said that. And with this partnership, it looks like we are getting closer and closer to potentially reaching superintelligence. My second takeaway from this partnership, and that is going to be the financial repercussions for Nvidia. And any which way you look at it, it seems like both of the companies are going to benefit tremendously from this partnership. It's going to be a symbiotic loop where OpenAI's purchases are going to fuel Nvidia's growth. And as Nvidia grows, that means OpenAI gets to purchase more chips. It's absolutely insane how much Nvidia has grown, and it seems to me like they are not hitting the brakes anytime soon, making sure that they're continually pressuring their competitors by making partnerships just like this one. And if it wasn't already obvious, OpenAI gets plenty of capital, $100 billion, and all the while, Nvidia obtains shares in an AI leader. And I've already hinted at this, but coming in at number 3, and my last takeaway is that Nvidia continues to prove why they're the top dog when it comes to AI. They are continually one-upping their main competitor being AMD, and it seems to me like Nvidia is miles and miles ahead of their second closest competitor. This partnership not only shows why they're so much better than AMD, but potentially is a counterplay to custom chips from competitors like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. In particular, the partnership dilutes Microsoft's stake in OpenAI because if you didn't know, Microsoft was an early investor with the creators of ChatGPT here in OpenAI. And speaking of Microsoft, they're actually the second stock that I want to talk about because Microsoft was down just a smidge on the day, but I knew that given the news, this was not going to be good for Microsoft stock. And I want to give you 3 reasons why this might affect Microsoft negatively. Coming in at number 1, and that is Azure's revenue. Microsoft uses Azure and their cloud systems to generate a lot of growth in the AI space. But it seems to me like one of their biggest partners here is starting to look elsewhere when it comes to computing abilities. Because recently they made a deal with Oracle in a $300 billion move, and now here they are again looking for another partner in Nvidia. And this could potentially lead to billions of dollars being diverted away from Microsoft and into their competitors. The second reason why this is not good for Microsoft, and I've also hinted at this earlier in the video, and that is that their stake is being diluted in OpenAI. When Microsoft originally invested in OpenAI, they had, I believe, a 49% stake in the company. Since then, I've seen that number drop down to as low as 28%. And now with this new deal, that number is just going to keep decreasing. OpenAI's investor roster is starting to look incredibly impressive because they have now Microsoft, Oracle, SoftBank, and now Nvidia. So while yes, this is great for OpenAI, it's not so good for Microsoft because of not only the dilution in their stake in OpenAI, but because of the ramifications of this deal, and that is reason number 3, ecosystem competition. Microsoft is being pressured to accelerate any advancements or research and development in AI hardware so that they don't have to over-rely on Nvidia. We've seen how great Nvidia has been, what they're doing now, and it seems to me like, again, they are just moving forward at full speed here. Nothing is slowing them down. But even with that, I still think that Microsoft is going to be a buy through the rest of 2025. And honestly, I hope that it drops even lower throughout the rest of the year. I've been buying in the low $500 range. But if Microsoft were to drop and have anything with a 4 in front of it, I would start buying even more aggressively. I just feel like Microsoft is far more diversified, less cyclical, and has a better track record when it comes to overall management experience. But that's just my opinion. I would love to get yours in the comments below, so be sure to let me know if you agree, if you have any outbursts of disagreement. I always love to get your take when it comes to these stocks and anything exciting like these types of news. Be sure to give me a like if you made it until this point in the video, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.